3 races, 3 wins. 0 drivers in NASCAR history have ever done that to start a season until now. Tyler Reddick just changed everything. On Sunday, March 1st, 2026, Reddick crossed the finish line first at the DuraMax Texas Grand Prix, held at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. That's the famous track known as COTA. And with that win, he did something that no driver in the entire history of NASCAR's Cup Series has ever done. He won the first 3 races of a season. Not 2. 3. Back to back to back. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't some small thing. This is the kind of record that people thought might never happen. We're talking about a sport that has been around for over 70 years. Some of the greatest drivers to ever sit behind a wheel have raced in this series. Names like Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, Jimmie Johnson. These are guys who won championships, broke records, and became legends, and not a single one of them ever started a season by winning the first 3 races. Richard Petty won 200 races in his career. 200. They call him the King for a reason, but even the King couldn't pull off what Reddick just did. Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator, one of the toughest and most feared drivers in the history of the sport, never did it either. And Jimmie Johnson, the guy who won 7 Cup Series championships, which ties him with Petty and Earnhardt for the most ever, he couldn't do it. Nobody could. Until Tyler Reddick came along in 2026 and just made it happen like it was nothing. Let's go back to the beginning of this incredible run. It all started at the Daytona 500. That's the biggest race of the year. It's the Super Bowl of NASCAR. Every driver dreams of winning the Daytona 500, and for a lot of them, it never happens. Reddick went out there and took the checkered flag. That alone would have made for an amazing start to the season. 1 win at Daytona is enough to make your whole year, but Reddick wasn't done. The very next week, the series moved to Atlanta. And guess what happened? Reddick won again. 2 races, 2 wins. People started talking. Fans were excited. Other drivers were probably looking in their mirrors a little more often. But still, 2 wins to start a season, while rare, has happened before. It's special, but it's been done. The real question on everyone's mind was simple. Could he do it a 3rd time? And that brings us to COTA. The Circuit of the Americas is a road course. For those who might not know, a road course is very different from the oval tracks that NASCAR usually races on. On an oval, you're mostly turning left. On a road course, you've got left turns, right turns, elevation changes, and all kinds of tricky sections. It takes a completely different skill set. Some drivers who are great on ovals struggle on road courses. It's almost like a different sport. So for Reddick to come to COTA and try to keep his winning streak alive, he was facing a whole new kind of challenge. And he didn't just win, he dominated. Reddick led 58 out of 95 laps. That's more than 60% of the entire race. He was out front for most of the day, controlling the pace and making it look easy. But it wasn't easy, especially near the end. In the closing laps, Reddick had a guy right behind him who is considered one of the best road course racers in the world, Shane van Gisbergen. If you don't know that name, you should. Van Gisbergen came to NASCAR from the Australian Supercars Championship, where he was absolutely dominant. He's known for being incredibly fast on road courses. When he showed up in NASCAR, he started winning road course races almost right away. So having Van Gisbergen on your bumper in the final laps at a road course is about as tough as it gets. But Reddick handled it perfectly. He didn't make a single mistake. He hit every corner right, managed his tires, and kept Van Gisbergen behind him all the way to the finish line. It was a masterclass in driving under pressure. When the checkered flag waved, it was Reddick's No. 45-2311 Racing Toyota that crossed the line first. Now let's talk about what this means for the championship. After just 3 races, Reddick has built a 70-point lead in the standings. 70 points. We're barely into the season, and he's already got a huge gap over everyone else. That kind of lead this early is almost unheard of. It gives him a massive cushion going forward. Even if he has a bad race or 2, he's got points in the bank. Other drivers are going to have to be nearly perfect just to catch up. And the racing world knows it. The entire sport is in shock right now. Drivers, crews, analysts, fans, everyone is looking at what Reddick has done and trying to figure out how he's doing it. This isn't just a hot streak. This is history being written in real time. 3 different tracks, 3 different types of racing. Daytona is a superspeedway, where drafting and big packs of cars make everything unpredictable. Atlanta is a fast, high-banked track that races almost like a superspeedway now. And COTA is a technical road course with 20 turns. Reddick won at all three. That tells you this isn't a fluke. He's not just fast on one type of track. He's fast everywhere. What makes this even more impressive is the team behind him. 23XI. Racing is co-owned by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin. The team is still relatively young in NASCAR terms. They haven't been around for decades like some of the bigger teams, but they've clearly put together something special with Reddick and the number 45 car. The crew, the engineers, the strategy calls, everything has been clicking on all cylinders. When you have a driver performing at this level and a team giving him the car to do it, that's when magic happens. Think about where Reddick was just a few years ago. He was racing for other teams, showing flashes of talent, winning some races here and there. But nobody was calling him the guy who would break a record that stood for the entire history of the sport. That's the beauty of NASCAR, though. You never know when someone is going to step up and do something that nobody saw coming. And right now, Tyler Reddick is that someone. The big question everyone is asking now is, how far can this go? Can he win 4 in a row? 5? Where does this streak end? Or does it end at all? Of course, the competition is going to come after him harder than ever. Every team in the garage is going to be studying what Reddick and 23XI are doing, trying to find a way to beat them. That's how NASCAR works. When someone gets to the top, everyone else tries to pull them back down. But right now, in this moment, Tyler Reddick is standing alone at the top of a mountain that no one has ever climbed before. 3 races, 3 wins, one record that stood for over 70 years of NASCAR racing finally broken. Tyler Reddick has done the impossible. The next race is at Phoenix Raceway on March 8th. And guess what? Michael Jordan has already said he's going to be there. He wants to see if Reddick can make it 4 in a row. The entire garage is going to be coming after him harder than ever. Every team will be studying what Reddick and 23XI are doing, trying to find a way to beat them. That's how NASCAR works. When someone gets to the top, everyone else tries to pull them back down.